Really, when you think about it, we're managing our ground to improve the deer health and improve our hunting opportunities. Okay, there's nothing wrong with either. One of the ways that we can improve our hunting opportunities is to get the deer to make their daylight core areas on our ground. That's what we're doing by offering them the best food, the best water, the best feeling of safety, comfort, breeding opportunities that they can find in the area. We do that, and you know what? We're going to get more deer to create their daylight core areas on our ground, and they will spend a disproportionate amount of time on our property. Are they still going to leave? Of course they are. But we are minimizing the amount of time that they're gone. And that is what we're going to talk about today, the different ways we can do that. You do that one big way, real easy way, is to go ahead and create licking branches, artificial scrapes, mock scrapes all over your ground. Down these travel corridors that we want the deer to use, as well as in and around those food sources. You do that every single time that buck stops to work a scrape. He's generally wasting anywhere from 30 to 120 seconds. I know that doesn't sound like much, but that 30 to 120 seconds can be the difference between life and death when he jumps that fence. If he does it 10 minutes after dark, you know what? As long as he's home before first light, he's perfectly safe. We don't care. He does it 10 minutes before shooting lights out, we may have a problem. Okay, so how can we go ahead and help bucks waste more time on our ground? A big one is mock scrapes. Litter that ground with mock scrapes. Make sure that down virtually every one of the travel corridors we're setting up for them, that there are licking branches like crazy. Okay, go ahead and put those licking branches all around our food sources. Put one preferably back where he's bedding, during the off season obviously, and put them right in the food sources by planting those scrape trees. If we can get Mr. Big to work an extra 2-3 scrapes a day, you know what? That may be the difference between him making it, us killing him, or the neighbor killing him, which is a key. Another thing that we do is a lot of what we're doing with hinge cutting and screening is really just trying to get deer to waste their time, make it so they can't see as far. So in Mr. Big, he used to be able to sit up on this knob and see all around him 360 because our woods was so mature, he could go ahead and check it for does just like that. Now we go ahead and put a sidewalk through, which creates a visual break. We put a couple bedding areas in, which create visual breaks. We go in and we do some selective thickening. We do those things, and now he has to bird dog that property. The more he has to bird dog that property, the more time he's spending on our ground, the less time he's spending on the neighbors. Okay, another way we do this is divide up the food sources. If you choose to use what I call the checkerboard approach, and that is rather than go ahead and treat that entire checkerboard as one property, instead, go ahead and create exaggeratedly large squares on there and divide the property up, offering each section absolutely everything a deer could possibly want. You take that 40, you divide it up into 2 or 3, maybe even 4 places, different sections, depending on how it lays. You take that 80, you divide it up into 4, maybe even 6 different sections. Now you do that, and now if Mr. Big wants to check that property, he has to check each and every one of those areas, because each one of those areas is offering the deer everything they want and need. Each one of those areas has their own doe family group concentrations. He needs to check them all. Think about how we can get deer to waste time on our ground, creating a flow of deer activity through our property. You do that, the more time they waste on your ground, you know what? All of a sudden that guy with that 20 or 40 acre property, sure, he can't truly manage deer yet, just like the guy with 4,000 can't, but you can come a little bit closer. All we're doing is stacking the odds in our favor with all this stuff. That means that we're going to lose We're going to lose sometimes, but every once in a while we're going to win. And getting bucks to waste time on our ground is a way to win.
Growing Big is brought to you by Wildlife Research Center, the gold standard. Reconics, see what you've been missing. Antler King, bigger bucks, healthier deer. The Heater Bodysuit, you stay warm or your money back. Furminator, the best food plot implement on Earth. Redneck Blinds, the best hunting blinds on the planet. Chestnut Hill Nursery and Orchards. And foodplotsfordeer.com, planning your habitat improvements and improving your hunting.
The more time a buck spends on our ground, the higher the odds are that we can either kill him or we can pass him and he survives another year. We're minimizing the odds of the neighbors ended up shooting him. So how do we do that? We do that by getting him to waste time. Just precious seconds can make the difference between success and failure. Slap out a bunch of mock scrapes. You don't have to use Magnum scrape drippers at every single location. Save those for the best locations, the ones that work for you when it comes to hunting. Okay, we can go ahead and divide up our property. Make it so rather than have one place to check for does, one place to check for where they're bedding, one place to check for where they're feeding, they have to check multiple locations. Then these hinge cuts and screenings, what we're really doing with them one of the main things we're doing with them is we're making visual breaks so deer can't stand here and see 200 yards in every direction. They have to bird dog this stuff. They have to go check it out. Again, wasting precious seconds. The more of their time we can waste on our ground, the better off we are.